Who thinks what their parents do is cool?
No one.
Right? Like, I tried really hard. And especially since they're like rock stars, but they don't look like rock star either.
Jerry Garcia, the voice and soul of the Grateful Dead, once sang "It's been a long, strange ride" in the classic song Truckin. But did he know those lyrics would reflect his own life? From the heights of creativity to the depths of addiction? 3 decades after Jerry's death, his daughter, Trixie Garcia, has revealed untold truths about her father and the pressures of living in the shadow of a cultural icon. Have you ever wondered how Jerry Garcia's life shaped the Grateful Dead legacy? Let's explore his tumultuous journey, starting from his earliest days. Jerry Garcia was born on August 1, 1942 in the Mission District of San Francisco, California, to a family of Hispanic descent. His father, Jose Ramon Joe Garcia, was a clarinetist and barber shop owner, and his mother, Ruth Marie Clifford, was a strong and independent woman. The name Jerry was inspired by Jerome Kern, the famous composer, signaling his early passion for the arts. Jerry was raised in a musical environment. His grandfather and grandmother were both mariachi musicians, and the family regularly listened to country and bluegrass music on the radio. His mother, a music lover, often sang at family gatherings, creating an atmosphere filled with artistic inspiration. However, Jerry's childhood was not entirely peaceful. At the age of 4, Jerry Garcia suffered a serious accident that changed his body and his life forever. One summer afternoon, Jerry and his older brother Tiff were playing at their grandparents' house in Santa Cruz, California. The Garcia brothers decided to help out by cutting firewood with the family's electric saw. While sawing, a moment of carelessness occurred. Tiff accidentally let the saw pass through Jerry's hand, cutting off most of the middle finger of his right hand. Their mother, Ruth, immediately took Jerry to the nearest hospital. Despite the doctor's efforts to save him, most of the missing fingers could not be restored. The accident not only left physical damage, but also had a profound psychological impact on Jerry as a child. He had to learn to use his missing hand and was often teased by his peers. An unfortunate occurrence took place in 1947 when Jerry Garcia was just 5 years old, and it would significantly alter the course of his life. During the Garcia family's weekend excursion to the Russian River in California, they intended to unwind by spending the day fishing, which was a pastime that Jose Ramon Joe Garcia, the Garcia family's father, cherished. Joe was a gifted clarinetist who, in addition to being a significant influence on Jerry's life, was also a source of constant happiness and love for the family. In the course of that excursion, Joe decided to go fishing, while Jerry remained on the bank and watched. An unanticipated occurrence had place. There was a quick and powerful surge that carried Joe away in front of Jerry's frightened eyes. Joe was unable to swim to shore after being carried away by the strong current, and he vanished under the submersion of the icy water very rapidly. The family made a call for assistance. None of them were able to assist them. Jerry's mind was permanently imprinted with the event, and it began to serve as a disturbing memory for the rest of his life. It was not only a personal loss for him, but it also caused the Garcia family to be in a state of upheaval when his father passed away. In a sudden and unexpected turn of events, his mother, Ruth, who had previously been a homemaker, was compelled to take on all of the responsibilities. In a move that may have been life or death, she took over the family barbershop in the Mission District. This decision helped her keep her income. In addition to being a woman who was strong and resolute, Ruth was also an independent woman who served as an essential role model for Jerry. However, the change did not come without its difficulties. As a child, Jerry not only had to deal with the loss of his father, but also with the absence of his father in his adult years. He often turned to music to ease the emptiness. Jerry has said that his father, a musician, had inspired him to play music since he was a child, and his father's death deepened his appreciation for the value of art as a way to cope with trauma. The tragedy also influenced Jerry's perspective on life and death. It created a deep sensitivity to the darker and more complex aspects of human life, which would later become a prominent feature in the Grateful Dead's music and lyrics. As a teenager, Jerry moved in with his grandparents after his mother remarried. This was when he began to develop a passion for music. At the age of 15, he received his first guitar from his mother, a life-changing gift. He quickly became fascinated with rock and roll, especially artists like Chuck Berry and Ray Charles. During his high school years, Jerry was not a model student. He often skipped classes and became involved in unorthodox musical or artistic activities. After graduating unsuccessfully, he joined the Army, but was soon discharged for his lack of discipline. Can you believe that a boy with such a turbulent childhood could reach the pinnacle of his career? Let's take a quick look at his accomplishments before we delve deeper into Jerry Garcia's personal life and the rumors swirling around him. Jerry Garcia has garnered substantial acclaim throughout his career, which is a reflection of the deep effect he has had on music and popular culture. Although he is not renowned for his traditional music awards, he has won a lot of accolades. When the Grateful Dead, and band in which Garcia played a central role in terms of creativity, was elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, it was one of the most prestigious honors that Garcia had ever received. In recognition of the band's incalculable contributions to the music business, the Grateful Dead was presented with the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in the year 2007. Although the prize was presented after his death, it served to validate his enduring impact on countless generations of musicians and music enthusiasts. In addition, a number of the Grateful Dead's works, including Garcia's substantial contributions, have been admitted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame is dedicated to the preservation of recordings that have everlasting creative and historical significance. Additionally, Garcia has been honored in ways that are not traditional but are meaningful from a cultural side. His iconic Wolf guitar is currently on exhibit at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, serving as a representation of the creative and innovative spirit that he brought to the world of music. Jerry Day is celebrated annually in San Francisco, Garcia's hometown, and the Jerry Garcia Amphitheater is named after him in recognition of the contributions he has made to the city and the arts. The lasting and significant impact that Jerry Garcia has had on music and culture is what defines his legacy, even though he has not been honored with a great number of individual accolades. The acclaim that he receives from artists and fans all around the world is evidence of his most significant accomplishment, which is to become an enduring pioneer in the creative world. However, there is a more difficult reality that lurks behind the music and the devotion, and his daughter, Trixie Garcia, has just lately begun to shed light on this truth. Trixie Garcia was born in 1974, and she spent her childhood in the shadow of her father. Her recent interviews have given a heartbreaking picture of the reality of family life because of her relationship with Jerry Garcia. While many might imagine that growing up in a rock star's family would be a life of privilege, Trixie has had her share of little-known dark sides. But is that the case? Or is it just the surface that we have been dreaming about? The life of Trixie Garcia, the daughter of the famed guitarist Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead, was made more difficult and stressful by the fact that she was in the limelight of her famous father. She has not been shy about discussing the challenges that she had as a result of having a father like Jerry, particularly during the time that he fought addiction and the effect that it had on the family. Trixie Garcia, the daughter of Jerry Garcia, the guitarist for the Grateful Dead, had a life that was difficult and stressful since she was raised in the shadow of her renowned father. In particular, she has been candid about the challenges that come with having a father like Jerry, particularly because he has been battling addiction for a long time, and the effect that this has had on the family. Jerry Garcia, who was not only famous for his musical ability, but also for the distinctive way of life he led throughout the 1960s, continued to live and create music until the 1990s when he passed away in the state of California. Trixie has provided evidence that corroborated the long-standing rumors that he struggled with substance abuse, so demonstrating the profound effect that his addiction had on both his family and her life. Trixie Garcia, Jerry Garcia's daughter, has divulged a great deal of information about her father throughout the course of her life, the most notable of which is a surprising discovery that she announced at his burial. As a result of her portrayal of Jerry as a poor parent, many people have been forced to reevaluate their conception of the legendary father they frequently envision. Some information regarding her father's life during his years of struggle with addiction has been revealed by Trixie Garcia, the daughter of the legendary musician Jerry Garcia. These details have never been seen before till now. Her stories not only shed light on the difficult life that Jerry led, but they also demonstrate his patience, unconditional love, and efforts to overcome personal difficulties that occurred inside the family. When Trixie thinks back on the times she phoned Jerry while he was dealing with heroin addiction, she remembers those calls. These talks frequently began in the same manner as any other chat between a father and his daughter, but they got peculiar and were stopped when Jerry, under the influence of narcotics, entered a dream-like state. During those times, she exhibited a patient-wasting attitude. Despite the interruptions, she never lost patience with her father. Sometimes Jerry would wake up just a few minutes later and continue the conversation as if nothing had happened. This not only shows Trixie's patience, but also the unconditional love she has for her father, even though he wasn't always the ideal father she hoped for. She also recalls the days when Jerry was constantly on tour with the Grateful Dead, leaving him little time for his family. The busy schedule of the famous band meant that Jerry was absent from many important moments in Trixie's life, from family celebrations to personal events where she needed her father's presence. Trixie admits to feeling emotionally deprived because her father wasn't there when she needed him most, but she never blamed him. Instead, she accepted and understood that the life of a famous rock star always required inevitable sacrifices. The long tours and fame not only put pressure on Jerry's career, but also created a distance between him and his family, something Trixie had to face and learn to adapt to. One of the most shocking revelations Trixie shared was about her involvement in her father's struggle with addiction. She said that Jerry would regularly give her large sums of money to travel across the United States and collect various narcotics that he needed. Trixie would make these trips and bring them back to her father. This was part of the life of temptation and hardship that Jerry faced, and also reflected the complicated relationship between him and his daughter. Throughout those years, Jerry was very protective of his privacy. His dressing room was always heavily guarded, with Steve Parrish, Jerry's close friend and longtime colleague, always standing outside the door, not allowing anyone to enter. However, Trixie was the only person allowed into this dressing room, perhaps because of the special trust Jerry had in her. This shows a special relationship between them despite the challenges in their family and Jerry's struggles with drugs. Trixie also revealed that she heard many stories from Jerry himself about his struggles with addiction. While she didn't go into specifics, she shared that many things happened during those years that she didn't want to make public. However, what Trixie shared sheds light on a part of the truth about Jerry Garcia's life that few people know. Drug addiction, especially heroin, was an inseparable part of his life and career, an issue that many people suspected but was not officially confirmed until Trixie spoke up. There was one emotional moment that Trixie will always remember. That was when she confronted her father and asked him directly about his drug use. She shared that at that time she felt very hurt and confused, but also very determined to understand what her father was going through. These conversations forced her to confront truths that no child ever wants to face, especially when it comes to a father she loves and admires. However, these conversations also allowed Trixie and Jerry to understand each other better, creating a bond between father and daughter, despite the burdens his music career and addiction have always placed on the family. Trixie also shared that beyond his own family, Jerry's addiction had a profound impact on those around him, especially Grateful Dead fans. During performances, Trixie witnessed children who were not yet adults but were already addicted to drugs. Those experiences became a stern warning to Jerry's children, making them aware of the dangers of substance abuse and its impact on their lives. Trixie and her siblings chose a different path, deciding to avoid the pitfalls their father faced and making more conscious choices in their lives. One of the most notable things about Trixie's sharing is the stark difference in the way she and her sisters chose to live compared to their father's lifestyle. Although Jerry occasionally joked about drug use, his daughters decided to abandon that lifestyle and choose a different path. Trixie and her sisters witnessed the devastating effects that the addiction and excesses of the rock and roll world had on their father and those around him. They saw firsthand the exhaustion of older fans as well as the struggles of younger fans with drugs, which made them even more determined to stay away from that path. Trixie, rather than following in Jerry's footsteps as a performer, chose a different path. She became involved in managing Jerry's estate and developing business ventures such as Garcia's chosen cannabis brand. Trixie's career reflects a different approach to her father's legacy, from a business and management perspective rather than simply an artist's. She and her sisters do not deny Jerry's influence in their lives, but they are also keenly aware of the difficulties and pitfalls his career has brought, and they have chosen separate, somewhat more sober paths. Jerry Garcia, with his illustrious musical career, is not only notable for his timeless compositions, but also for his ability to express himself through various art forms. Besides being a talented musician, he is also a versatile artist whose interests span from painting and filmmaking to exploring other creative fields. In conversations, his daughter Trixie shared that Jerry has always had a strong intellectual curiosity, constantly seeking inspiration from all aspects of life. Trixie recalls that her father was always fascinated by the people he met behind the scenes, from innovative technology innovators to individuals with unique life experiences. Jerry was not only involved in music, but also always looking for new ideas and groundbreaking inspirations to fuel his creativity, which greatly contributed to his eclecticism in music. Trixie shared that Jerry Garcia was not only a musician, but also a talented artist. He created many paintings and drawings, which later attracted attention and were highly appreciated by collectors. Together with her siblings, Trixie participated in organizing exhibitions, helping to bring this little-known side of Jerry to the world, providing a more comprehensive view of the man behind the famous tunes. These artistic activities of Jerry were not limited to music, but also reflected a person with a profound artistic vision, constantly creating and developing despite the difficulties in life. One of Jerry's most notable legacies is his music, and especially the lasting impact his work has had. Trixie shares that her father's music continues to resonate strongly, not only with old fans, but also with younger generations who were not around during the Grateful Dead's heyday. It is the timeless quality of these songs that has helped the Grateful Dead maintain their appeal, standing the test of time. Trixie also emphasizes that Jerry's music has a magical power, a source of healing for the soul of the listener. She recounts that fans share stories of the deep emotional experiences they had at Grateful Dead shows, which shows the sincerity and depth of Jerry's artistry, even as he faced personal struggles. In addition to music, Trixie has also made significant contributions to the management of her father's legacy. Protecting and advancing the legacy of a cultural legend like Jerry Garcia is no small task, but Trixie has approached the task with reverence and innovation. She has been involved in developing projects that aim to share Jerry's art and music with the public. One of the most notable projects is Jerry's chosen cannabis brand, which is not only a product bearing his name, but also a way for Trixie to convey the message of responsible cannabis use. She has worked tirelessly to ensure that these products not only reflect Jerry's values, but also align with the spirit of the Grateful Dead community, which promotes peace, love, and music. Trixie also shared about the effects of fame on family relationships. She admitted that Jerry's celebrity status sometimes created distance between him and his family, making every relationship complicated. Nevertheless, Trixie also viewed her father's popularity from a good viewpoint, which was the connection of the community that surrounded the Grateful Dead. This community was built by love, music, and the desire for peace. Not only did Jerry's celebrity bring about significant events or media attention, but it also made it possible for him to leave behind a lovely legacy for future generations. She regarded this to be an invaluable inheritance, one in which the admirable principles of music and community will be honored in perpetuity regardless of the amount of time that has passed. Regardless of this, Trixie has always highlighted that her love and connection with her father are profound. This is due to the fact that in addition to being her father, he is also a close friend and a warm companion in her life. Not only does Trixie's disclosure shed light on a portion of Jerry Garcia's family background, but it also shines additional light on the tensions and complex emotions that are a part of the life of a rock star. Not only is the tale of Jerry Garcia's career and life told from Trixie's perspective, but it is also a story of music and celebrity, as well as a lengthy journey of creative endeavors and the search for purpose in life. Even though he endured a great deal of adversity, particularly in the form of addiction and the demands of celebrity, the legacy that he left behind is an essential component of the history of music and culture all over the world. What do you think about this harsh truth? Did a difficult childhood and work pressure lead to his wrongdoing? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you, and see you in the next